And it's a well-accepted principle that life is a series of stages that we go through, and each stage builds upon the next. And even if we do not learn the lessons of a particular stage, growth goes on irrespective. Life goes on regardless. So what happens is, if life goes on regardless, as it indicates there, and you don't grow in the way that you ought, you can have a hole or gap in your personality. So that's why we get many people who look grown up on the outside, but on the inside are still very immature. In fact, I remember a woman, I can give you cases for both sexes, but let me take this one. The woman who came into my office, she had 3 children, she was at the end of her tether, and she said, I'm done with this, I've had it. She said, my husband, he's just a lazy so-and-so. She said, he doesn't help around the house, he spends much of his time in front of the television, he just kind of veges out, and he drops his stuff in the bathroom, he drops clothes around in the bedroom. She said, I'm always tidying up after him. She said, he's a good for nothing, I'm done with it. I said, okay, I can understand that. I think I would be too, done with it. I said, just tell me a moment about his family. She said, it's funny you should say that. She said, because the mother-in-law looks after the father in the same way, picks up after him, does everything for him. In fact, the mother picked up after the father and the son together. And I said, you know, it really sounds like you haven't got 3 children, you've got 4 children. She said, absolutely, absolutely right. Now what happened is that guy never learnt to be independent, look after himself and take responsibility. And so he went through life with this hole or gap where he didn't take responsibility, he didn't assume control, he didn't become independent, and what happened in the end is he ended up marrying his, what would you guess? Mother. Yeah, he just ended up marrying another mum, so he didn't grow up. Although physically you'd look at him and you go, well, this is a grown man, but inside there was a gap. So life can do that. So it's really important that we try not to have too many gaps in our life, because they do have a habit of coming back. So it's fundamental that basically there's a childhood period from about 0 to 7, and this is the period in here that we're talking about now before we get to adulthood. Because if you have some major cracks down in here in the foundation, when the storms of life beat upon you and the storms of life come in, you're going to get some rain and weather coming in, no matter how you like it. It has to, because you've got some basic flaws down here. Now, most of us don't have major cracks in the childhood down here. Most of us are pretty good, but you know, you talk to people from particular communities, particularly the refugees in the community, and you'll find some major cracks down here, which means when the storms of life hit, a lot of the weather floods in, and they stress easily, and they lose it easily, and they really experience a good deal of difficulty coping with life.